Welcome to Arroyo Seco! There is Mr. Marshall and Ms. Ward. And behind Mr. Marshall and Ms. Ward, who are two of our counselors, are our campus security. Let's look like secure people, folks. And campus supervisors. They are our great go-to people while you are here on campus. We're going to do a virtual tour in just a minute, but first, let me introduce myself. I'm Misty! All right, hang on there for a minute. We're going to hit stop and take you inside the illustrious Arroyo Seco campus.
This is our amazing attendance office located at the front of the school. Now down here we have our counseling office.
The best office in the whole school.
That's right, Mrs. Ward.
Who lives in the counseling office?
That would be the three counselors, Mr. Marshall, Mrs. Ward, Ms. Thielen-Tice, and of course we have our registrar, Mrs. Williams. Hi, Mrs. Williams.
Woo!
Hi everyone, welcome to Seco.
And then to the right will be our ASB counseling station. This is where Mrs. Laughlin will be sitting. Mrs. Laughlin is currently filming. Thank you, Mrs. Laughlin. But this is where you're going to come to buy dance tickets, to check in with your counselors, anything that you might need that's ASB or counseling related.
Mr. Marshall, isn't there a window where students can purchase things?
Absolutely. Come back outside and I'll show you that window. Right over here is our ASB window. If you ever want to purchase certain things, maybe it's a yearbook or other things of that nature, and that would typically be open when we're able to buy those items.
Oh no! I twisted my ankle! I can't do PE today. What do I do, Miss Ward?
Let's go next door to the health office.
Woohoo!
There you go. You got it.
I love the health office. Ms. Lopez is awesome! Let me unlock the door though. She might have gone to lunch. You know how it is.
Now the health office is open during the school day in case you get any minor injuries and need some care. And here is the health office with Miss Lopez.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Miss Lopez. So students, if you have medication or inhalers or anything else of that nature that you need to leave at the school, it will be located in the health office, and Miss Lopez will assist you with that. Also, as with Ms. Thielen-Tice, who just twisted her ankle, she'll be able to get some care from Miss Lopez. Maybe that advice. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. And we got our crutches handy.
Miss Lopez, what do I do? Here's a note from the doctor. I can't play PE. What do I do?
Well, you give it to me, we'll make a copy, and we'll make sure your PE teacher knows about it.
Okay.
We'll send a note to him.
Could you let my mom know? However, my mom only speaks Spanish. Is that an issue?
No, we can talk to her. I can call her and say hola and explain.
Excelente!
Muy bien.
All right, our next stop will be our cafeteria. We'll see you there in just a second.
You guys start.
Oh, my tummy's growling. It must be lunchtime. Let's go check out our lunch area. Mr. Marshall, will you please lead the way?
We're really hungry right now, so if you notice, there's a whole bunch of arrows that you will line up. This is a very, very crowded place, but we always make sure our students get fed. Hi!
Hi. These are our amazing cafeteria workers.
Oh, don't tell me.
And you can see they're hard at work right now preparing lunch. We have a variety of items offered at lunchtime, and they are delicious. We'll have everything from cheeseburgers to pizza to sandwiches to salad. We have fruits. We have vegetables. We have everything you might want, and it is available during lunchtime. And then you pick up your food here, and then exit out the far door.
We're going to exit this way. Don't forget, though, when you come in, there's going to be have the cage. This is where we put our naughty students. No, not really. It's our bike cage where you can ride your bike, lock it up in the cage, or take a skateboard and put it on the skateboard racks in the back and lock up your skateboards as well. The cage is locked all day long, and for lunch we'll let Mrs. Ward out. But for now, she's in the cage. Let's talk a minute about one of the exploratories that we offer here at Seco.
That's right, Miss DeLantice, and that would be our wonderful culinary class. That's our cooking class. As we head over to the home economics room, we'll have a chance to talk with Mrs. Koo, our culinary teacher, and see the different lab stations that the students will use during the culinary class.
The best part of culinary is that you get to eat your projects. Miss Koo may not be in there. She is. Hello, Miss Koo. Well, we are here filming for incoming 7th graders.
Hello, everyone. We can't wait to have you over at Seco. Hopefully we'll do lots of fun cooking when you get here.
Woohoo!
Yes, take a look around. See our kitchen space, our classroom space.
So, as you can see, there's a classroom portion of culinary. There are labs in culinary. Each lab station has a stove, a sink, a microwave, lots of cupboards and stuff with equipment, some directions about washing hands because sanitary is super important when you're cooking. And then if we can look towards the back of the classroom, that is where Mrs. Koo does her cooking demonstrations. And what's cool about this is that when Miss Koo demonstrates, she can talk to the class, and the class can see what she's doing up here in the mirror. So you can check how much you're measuring, how much you're pouring, how much you're stirring, and so forth.
You might wonder what you might make in culinary class, and it might be everything from French toast to pancakes, maybe a salsa lab, learning how to chop up your vegetables and blend it into a delicious salsa.
Maybe we could touch base with Miss Koo and find out what's the student's favorite thing to make.
Oh my gosh, their favorite thing to make. Maybe it's sugar cookies or chicken Alfredo.
And of course, there's that rule that everything they make, they must give a sample to their counselor.
Yes, they have to go to the office and give a sample for sure.
All right, well thank you, Mrs. Koo.
Of course, I can't wait to see you all next year.
Woohoo!
And next up, we'll be taking a look at one of our buildings. It's going to be our 800 building. Now the 800 building has all 7th grade teachers and classes in it. That's the building right here. You can see it's labeled with a bright blue sign that says building 800. And so students, you may have a class here in the 800 building, depending on the schedule that you get. The classes, you can see that there are numbers on the front with the little blue signs, and that's how you find your classes. So this is our 800 building, again, one of our 7th grade buildings. Next, we're going to be looking at our gymnasium. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mrs. Laughlin, I'm tired of sitting in class right now. Let's go see what the gymnasium looks like.
Marshman, let's get booked!
Woo! Come on in, folks.
Now, the gymnasium is a place where you might go to do some circuit training. We're going to see one circuit set up while we're in there. There might be other games that you play in there. Misty is going to hop on that circuit training to see what we can do. I'm not sure what you do with that, but she's going to show us. She's going to lift some weights.
I realize that.
There you go, Miss DeLantice. Shows us bicep curls. Good form. Very nice. Some of the other activities you might do in the gymnasium include dodgeball and
Other games and activities that we don't even know what they're called, but you're going to have a lot of fun in here. They keep you moving in PE. But before we can start at PE, we have to go see, where do I change into my PE uniform?
Now students, you might wonder how attendance works with PE. As you can see, as we approach our blacktop area, the floor has numbers painted on it. And so when you have your PE class, you will be given a number. Now the amazing Mrs. Ward is always number 1. And so she's ready to go for PE. But as Mrs. Ward said, before we start PE, the first thing we need to do is dress out and make sure we are in our PE uniform. So without further ado, let's head on into the locker room.
Woohoo!
Now we do have 2 locker rooms, of course, one for females and one for males. We're gonna be taking a peek at the female locker room today. Both the male and the female locker rooms look identical.
Mr. Marshall, what does the PE uniform look like?
Oh, good question, Ms. Delantice. It's a pair of shorts and a t-shirt that has the Arroyo Seco logo on it and an area for you to record your last name so we know who you are during PE class.
Awesome. So here we have a PE locker. Some lucky person is going to get number 492. So each locker, it's pretty small. I'll show you 489 empty. I'll show you 490 empty. And then what you put in here, when you come, you keep your PE clothes in here, and then you put in your backpack. Now, like I said, it's pretty tight, so when you're looking for backpacks, you don't want to get super big ones. This is a terrific size for a backpack. The other thing you want to know about is, how do I keep my belongings secure? You will be issued a padlock, and that lock is going to have a dial, the kind that you have to go left, right, left, open. Okay? If you've never done that before, I recommend that you get yourself one over the summer and practice. That will lower your stress level.
Now, Ms. Delantice, these lockers, can students use them throughout the school day?
What a great question. As you can see, the locker is pretty small, so we don't want you coming in and out of the locker room until it is your period of PE. Also, there's only 5 minutes between classes, so that's not a lot of time to run to the locker room, run to your class, and run back. So no, the only time you use the locker is for PE.
Perfect. Thanks, Ms. Delantice.
Oh, one other thing. There's a myth out there that you have to shower. Showering is not a requirement, but if you really, really, really want to, we've got them.
All right. Now our next stop will be our library. So we're going to take a moment. We'll meet you in there in just a second.
Welcome to our library. As you can see, we have several different sections. We're at the end of the year, so look what we're doing. We're getting your books ready to pick up for registration next year. You also have a section in the library where you can use the computers. Hey, Miss Ward, what if these 4 computers are already used? Where can I go?
Well, there's a whole computer lab in here that you can talk to Mrs. Goodwin, our librarian, about. I bet there's somebody in there right now.
We call this computer lab the mini lab. Oh, look who's in there. Mr. Marshall must be working on his schoolwork.
Just making some final edits before I print out my paper for English class. Done.
Awesome. Did you run spell check, Mr. Marshall?
No, I didn't.
Good job.
Good job, thank you.
The library is typically open before school, at nutrition, lunch, and sometimes after school as well.
And sometimes this is a nice place to take a break during the day, but I really need to go rest, especially after being in PE. I want to go see the break room.
All righty. Stay tuned, guys.
All right, before we head on over to the break room, we want to take a second to show you a couple other buildings that we have that you might have some classes in. This is our second story building, also known as the 1100 building. You can see there are two different stories here, and so you might have some classes up top or some classes down below. And as we pan to the right, you'll see another building that we have. This is going to be our 600 building. Now remember, all the buildings are very clearly labeled. So don't worry too much about trying to figure out which building is where, especially on those first days of school, as we'll be ready to show you around. Again, this is the 600 building, and you will have some of your classes here, potentially. You can see Mrs. Ward and Miss Dillentheis taking the lounge. Our campus is open during nutrition and lunch, wherever you want to sit, within our boundary lines. And so you can see we have some beautiful benches, some nice grass that you can sit on as well. And it's a great area to take a rest before you head off to your next class. Okay, now we're going to be taking a second to walk on over to our break room.
Right now we're outside the break room, and this is a tent where during the school day they have all kinds of really fun games that Mrs. D knows the names of.
You could play cornhole, or maybe ladder throw, or giant Connect 4. All kinds of things. Let's take a look at the break room from the inside.
That's my favorite place. Come along this way. The break room's a little bit crowded right now because all the games are moved inside for the moment. But normally, this is a very quiet place with soothing nature sounds. The bright lights are just on so you can see what's here. But if I need to take a break just because I'm stressed out, I'm tired, I just want to relax, this is the place to come. You check in with the teacher, you can stay for a little while, you can talk to somebody if you need to, but this is the place. We have things that you can do artwork. We have a board where you can play Legos. We've got checkers. We have everything. Come here if you need to. And now that we're done taking a break, we're going to take a look at
CNN and video production.
Next up is our CNN classroom. Oh, and right on cue, as usual, is Mr. Hugo, our Conquistador News Network teacher.
Or director.
That's right. Now, CNN is one of our year-long specialty electives. Now, students coming into 7th grade won't be able to pick this class to start off their 7th grade year. However, starting your second semester after winter break, you can join CNN, and Mr. Hugo is the man to talk to.
What did we just see? It looks like a science classroom. Mr. Hugo also teaches science. But let's get to the good stuff. The studio. Woohoo! Remember, to put a film together takes a lot of work. So we need people in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. And I'm going to ask Mr. Hugo to highlight some of the equipment you might be using on both sides. Mr. Hugo?
So we have our teleprompter here, which runs through the script every day. This is what the anchors are reading off of. And the script comes up on this side of the teleprompter, so our anchor over here will read it. We've got full-blown studio lighting and green screen setup. We edit on both Macs and PCs, and the control room is where we put together our live broadcast daily. If you want to follow me back this way.
This is really cool. Be ready.
Now, we have no broadcast today, so not everything's turned on, but you'll get the idea for it.
Mr. Hugo, is this where the producer hangs out?
Well, we have a 8-man production crew. So we have our director who cuts between the different signals and runs our videos off of our Mac. This is what's going out to the school currently. We have our graphics, which then get dropped in on top of it. So we have a different graphics person so that the graphics show up. We have an audio person who runs all the feeds separately. And we have the teleprompter, we have 2 anchors and a correspondent. So it's an 8-man person show every day. When the bell rings, we go live and CNN is on the air. CNN stands for Conquistadores News Network.
That is awesome, Mr. Hugo. Thanks for helping us out with our video.
Anytime.
Awesome.
And see you guys next year.
Second semester, if you're interested, Mr. Hugo's the man to see. Hey, let's go check out the art room.
Sounds like a great idea, Miss Dealentice.
Bye, Mr. And now we have the art room. Let's take a look and see what they do in there. Miss Dee, what kind of projects do you think that they work on?
Welcome to art. They do everything from drawing, which might be done over on this side of the classroom, and painting and all kinds of things. But they also do something called ceramics, where they make things out of clay. These things have just come out of the kiln. So they get cooked, and once they're cooked, you get to glaze them and paint them and put them back in the kiln. Miss Lachlan, do you want to take a peek inside the kiln so we can see what it looks like? It's great. It's like a great big oven that gets super duper hot. So here you can see the items that are about to be fired. That's what it's called. You fire things in the kiln. And then they will come out like the ones that I saw at the table. What's next on our tour, Mr. Marshall?
All right, everyone, come on over. Our next stop will be our ASB room. And that's with Mrs. Moraz, our ASB director. And she does a lot of work with our ASB students to help make dances happen, and a lot of other fun school activities as well. So we'll see you at the ASB room in just a second.
This is our ASB room with Ms. Moraz. It's closed because the elves are making all kinds of fun activities for you when you come to ASB. Yes, ASB gives us all kinds of fun things.
I'm really hungry, Mrs. Lachlan. Let's go around the corner to the student store.
Woohoo! I wonder what you can buy at the student store. Let's take a peek.
Well, look, I see an ice cream only line. And there's snacks and drinks. This is a great place to come when you don't want to stand in the cafeteria line. They do have a different menu here, but all kinds of good stuff if you want to be here.
Nice.
All right, next we'll be taking a look at our band room. Oh, but first, before we go there, we have to look at our makerspace room. We'll see you there in a second.
Wow, what a cool room. What does makerspace mean, Mr. Marshall?
That's a great question, Miss Dealentice. Makerspace, this is the room where students will take a variety of different pre-engineering classes as part of the exploratory program. And some of those engineering classes might include a computer science class where you learn about coding, maybe one of our automation and robotics courses where you work with a team of students to create an actual moving robot. And, of course, our technology, design, and modeling class. As Ms. Dealentice is showcasing, this is our 3D printer. We have several 3D printers that students will use to make a variety of things, including phone cases, perhaps, maybe a chess piece. You'll learn how the 3D printer works and how to do the coding for that 3D printer. Again, that sounds like a great idea, Miss Dealentice. Let's make our way over to Mr. Fullerman's band room.
Welcome to the band room. This, my friends, is Mr. Fullerman. He's fantastic. He's fun and energetic. Let's take a look at his room. Come on in, Miss Lachlan.
Now, Mr. Fullerman teaches a variety of classes. He has 2 year-long specialty classes, advanced band for students who already have proficiency in certain instruments, and also beginning band, where anyone is welcome, regardless of the experience that you may or may not have with a certain instrument.
He also teaches exploratory music for anybody who has just an interest in music. Hey, if I join beginning band, let's talk about the instruments I might learn how to play. Woo-hoo! I could learn the cymbals, or French horn, or percussion, or saxophone, trombone, trumpet, drums, tuba, all kinds of things. Clarinets and flutes and piccolos too. So there's all kinds of things. I really love music. With that, let's go check out the choir room, the choir room, the choir room. We're on our way to the choir room to visit Mrs. West. we are to visit Mrs. West. She teaches choir and drama. She's the best. Here we go. Let's talk to her.
And here we have Mrs. West waiting for us.
Welcome, 7th graders, to the room where it happens, the room where it happens. This is theater and choir, and I want to see you next year in choir. Sign up today. It is a blast. We have so much fun, get to sing songs you love, and you get to make friends. Don't miss out. Sign up today. I'd love to have you. Welcome to Seco.
Thank you, Miss West.
You're welcome.
All right, students, if you're interested in signing up for drama production or for the advanced chorus class, you can just take a look at the Arroyo Seco website and you'll find the 7th grade portal there, where it has all the information about the electives you can sign up for.
Hey, let's take a look at the outdoor stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final stop for our virtual tour. It has been an absolute pleasure having this opportunity to show you around the school, and we know that things might be a little bit stressful as we approach the first day of school in August, but we are ready and excited to welcome you to the Arroyo Seco family. This is our stage area, and this will be open for a variety of different activities. You might be here for a noontime activity, maybe a pie throwing contest. There's no shortage of events that our ASB puts on for our students. So, without further ado, this is our sign off.
Remember, we are the Arroyo Seco
Counselors!
I'm Ms. D,
I'm Mr. Marshall.
And I'm Mrs. Ward.
and we'll see you in August.
Bye.